All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It's October 22nd. Yesterday, quite a slow day. It was about less than half of one ATR as far as the actual regular trading hours move. So, a very, very slow day. NQ closed as a true inside day, meaning the entirety of the day's range was within the previous day's range. We can see that pretty clearly on the 5-minute RTH chart. See, yesterday's range is entirely within Monday's range. So we have a little bit of consolidation, a little bit of rest. You can see the range there, 145 points on NQ. And price is pretty much just sitting here in a little consolidation pattern just beneath the all-time high. Just beneath that all-time high, we can see weekly volume point of control is actually shifted above current price point. That's this yellow line right there. Here is the weekly profile. So for this week, all the volume is overhead. It's currently at 310-ish. The game plan for this morning, number one, is to see how yesterday's range is going to break. The typical inside day protocol is to look for a break of either that prior day high or prior day low. And if it shows acceptance, to trade in the direction of the break. Now, in addition to that, what I'm going to be focusing on, depending on which direction we end up trading in, is how price responds to the all-time high, 394, and or this zone right down here. Right? Remember on Monday, we saw price trigger the break of last week's range. These were kind of the bounds of last week's range. Monday triggered that break, but when we zoom out, we have to remember we're still within this kind of 5-6 week range here. So it's a near-term range within an intermediate term range. Rangeception. So that's the game plan for this morning. Hopefully we can see an actual break of that prior day's range. Otherwise, if we don't, if price stays within the prior day's range, it's gonna be even more of a snoozer. So that's really one of the main things I'm looking for this morning, is a break of the prior day's range, or at least some test of that prior day high or prior day low area. That is the main game plan here for NQ. Let's take a look at our overnight session. We've got the extended hours volume point of control at 272. Prior day low is down here at 203, overnight low 206. So those are both right in the same area. Then your overnight high and prior day high are pretty much in the same area as well, 10 points away from each other. So looks like we'll have an open right here in no man's land. I need better location before getting involved. So I'll definitely be patient off the open. We've got about 1 minute till that open. Saw Netflix reported earnings last night. I believe that's trading lower this morning. Yeah, Netflix is trading much lower. Really into some daily support, that Netflix. Jump over to ES really quick. Yeah, ES looks pretty similar here. Just shy of that all-time high, a little consolidation pattern. All right, all right. There's your open. Opening price is about 265, 2655. No gap this morning. NQ lower off the open, coming into overnight low. Overnight low 206.5. And of course, you have prior day low right through there as well. PDL, prior day low. RTY strong right off the open. For the Russell enjoyers in the chat. Yesterday's stats for SPY ES ATR 42%, lowest volume in about 10 sessions. Yeah. I'm glad we were doing less. I'll tell you that. Can't force it on a session like that. What's up, Gabe? Chad, Dave, good morning. Good morning. And Q, there's your prior day low. So we'll see if there's a flush here down into that 180, 160 area. That may trigger an inside day breakdown, or if buyers want to set up the spring. Prior day low 203, pretty quick, coming into 180. This chart's not even updating. What's going on with my 5-minute RTH chart? Not updating at all. And there's 180. ES charts aren't loading on Rhythmic. Oh man. Non-stop this week with the platform data issues. So down and through prior day low into 180 here. Watching this, treating this 180 to 160 as a zone, 20-point zone. Gabe, you should be good with Top Step, but I saw Lucid paused all trading. Here's a retest of prior day low. So you have a hold there at 180. See how that prior day low is going to be treated. A little rejection there initially. So this is last week's high. That NQ is currently sitting on 25,180. I'd like to see a reclaim of that prior day low, overnight low area, and then some sort of structure to get involved with. Not trading the reversal right here, personally. That 5-minute RTH chart is working again. Has a has a gap on it. Let's see if we could reload that one. ES looking good with the little overnight low spring there. See if that shows follow through. So back up and through prior day low, overnight low there. We'll see if we get I like like I mentioned, I like a little retest now. See if it actually comes or if this thing just rips right into the session high. Good to see that 180 hold. No position, like I said. Just eyeballing it. This is probably your 61% fib intraday. Let's see. Yep. And that opening 15-minute bar closes in 4 minutes. Benny, Gabe in there, nice. Still cash this morning, personally. Have to exit because of consistency rules. So you sell early. I'd rather make it up on the back end personally. So I'll just take the trade, let it rip, build out the buffer on that account, and then either trade more days or whatever is needed to fix that consistency issue with the props that require it. So solid bounce from 180. That was the last week's high. It's the area we were looking at, talking about. We'll see if it continues to hold today. 180 by 160. Nah, that's the way I do it too, Benny. Yeah, I like that method better. Check out that 15-minute bar. Big tail on it. Yeah, no chasing. I'm just chilling right now. NQ did not mark a fresh high just yet. Volume below average. And about 10 minutes till 10 a.m. Little consolidation here near the volume point of control and VWAP. Gabe, it looks like the Lucid accounts are back up. I just got the email from them. ES, new high of day. So solid bounce from 25, 180. No position there. What I was really looking for was something like this. Take my entry right through there. No dice. That'll be a failed inside day breakdown so far. That's why we prioritize those levels of interest over the reference points. Cash morning so far for me. 5 minutes till 10 a.m. See if we get another entry. I would suspect NQ can show a continuation up into that prior day high area. Waiting for 10 a.m. Yes, sir. Yeah, the reason I passed on that 180 long, number one, you've got early directional strength. So we've got weakness that is pretty strong off the open, and I don't want to be grabbing a long right here just to scalp it into prior day low. I'd rather wait for price to reclaim that main area, prior day low, overnight low, then kind of show the entry that I want to see, which did not materialize. That, or I wanted more depth down into 160. I'll try the reversal down there. It's like the last spot. Did not materialize, did not materialize. I was also ready for a spring, kind of like what we saw in ES. Also did not materialize. That's trading for you. NASDAQ just right back in a session volume point of control here. Not much to do right now, but wait, staying patient. See if we get some fresh highs post 10 a.m. See what's happening across the board. Let's take a look at ES. Pretty choppy, pretty choppy. See, that's what I like to see for the overnight low spring right there. Yeah, this setup was cleaner than NQ. Last week's high. Put it in the spring, overnight low spring, reclaim last week's high. That's nice. That's really nice. Let's take a look at Russell. RTY, pretty similar. That's even a little prior day low. A little blip beneath. Set up the spring. Oh, we got some serious road rage outside. You can hear it through my headphones. Set up the spring, prior day low. Bounce right into VWAP. Then a rejection at VWAP. Gold bumping up against prior day low. This thing's been moving like crazy. GC. Probably June or July does. Summer. Shooting for summer. Yeah, Carlsbad. Carlsbad, get ready for the taxes. Yeah, I'm from San Diego, so quite familiar. It's one of the original reasons that we left. But got to get back. Planning to get back. South County, North County. Jacob, what are you talking about, man? That's North County. Carlsbad? South County's like South County's like Chula Vista. At least that's what comes to mind for me. South County. Anything south of downtown. South County. South of downtown to the to the TJ border, South County. Mexicali. Yeah, that's right. Gabe, you're from Orange County? Nice. Yeah, we were originally looking at moving back to Newport actually, but wanted to be a tad closer to the family. So Newport, you got to go through Pendleton, and it's a little bit more of a mission. But I love Orange County. Yeah, Des next year. Yep, yep. We'll get the PTG HQ opened up. Set up some trading stations in there. It's gonna be good. We got to get Mish to move out. Yeah, I saw Misha's out hiking in the Alaska woods. Hope he doesn't get taken out by a bear, man. That's bear country out there. That is bear country. NQ just choppy. Choppy now, post 10 a.m. Got RTY pressing the lows. London, nice. I think we got a few in the think tank that are out there. I think that's where Dave is at. Dave, you in London? And then maybe I know we got a handful. At least two or three. Dave and Mark come to mind. Yeah, Mark. Then we got a handful in Canada. We got Mario down in Colombia. Although I think he's in Miami right now. Zero five. Yep. All right, NQ waking up a little bit now. So NASDAQ rolling over at prior day volume point of control. We have a little uptick in volume coming in now. If ES could not get above VWAP, really. Let's see. Back in overnight low, prior day low area. Failure there. Should give the session low. Did ES actually just mark a fresh low as well? Yeah, ES marked a new low of day. See if it holds. You have good volume right now. Decent little bounce. See if we get some more. I haven't moved the stop yet, so this rolls over. Take the stop beneath that hammer. Hamski. First trade of the morning. So the idea I wanted panned out, just not in the way that I had expected. What I talked about earlier was this entry here. What we saw was this. Same entry, so same location. I'm going to lift the trail from beneath that hammer up into about 217. Just protect myself a little bit here. As price gets farther away from my entry. And really, I'd like to target session highs, but I'll trail a little bit tighter into the volume point of control, which currently sits at 254. And with the little micro structure, I like to lift the trail now just beneath. So 223 is where the trail currently sits. NQ getting into VWAP, starting to get into that session volume point of control VWAP area. See if the trail gets taken here. Looks like it. Trail's at 22325. About 3 points below. See if it gets taken out. And there it is. Minimal gains there. 15 points. Man, that was yesterday too. Jeez. Slow days. Yeah, Chrissy. No fun. ES rolling over again as well. So that was the idea I wanted. We took it. Showed pretty weak follow through. Already trailed. At this point, I'd probably wait for 160 now. before trying anything again, at least in the personal account, at least in the self-funded. I like the setup in ES too. You had the intraday spring. Sweeps the session low. Something like that. I want to try and find an entry like right here. Let me see it. 15-second. Yeah, it's pretty wide, unfortunately. Selling is accelerating a bit. ES is back into session lows. The up thrust is going to test the session low. Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, very good call there. Yeah, beneath the 150, 160, 150 area in NQ, that puts price back into last week's range. You have the gap, unfilled gap beneath here from Friday into Monday. So basically, my thought is beneath this area with acceptance for me, because I focus on longs, would be hands off time after that. Need to see some lower prices with a higher time frame reversal, like an hourly, 30-minute hourly, 2 hour. Then it's like price is back in last week's range. Real support is going to be down at the weekly, last week's profile, or down here, way down there. So we'll see if this area ends up holding. Take a look, get an update on our 2 hour. The 2 hour just shows some drift. Uh, Nothing there. Although the weekly profile is above current price point. We'll see if the inside day, that's potentially inside day breakdown if we continue to hold beneath prior day low. Yeah, the distribution idea is looking a little bit more clear. We'll see how the 160 is going to be treated. There it is right there. New low of day on NQ. And ES down beneath prior day low into 755. Volume starting to pick up. One minute is just right through that area. We'll see if, oh, almost the highest volume of the session right now. $135 session low. Yeah, getting back into last week's range. Look, there's no attempt from buyers here in this 160 area, so which makes it easier for me. Don't need to try a long right there and then just get stopped out. All right, that may be a one and done morning on the personal. Just take the long. It's a decent spot to try it, if you ask me. At that overnight low, prior day low area, NQ showing a potential higher low and just does not show follow through. Sellers reload. That a trade like that is where I'm so happy with how I manage my plays. Keeps the equity curve moving in the right direction. Very much 1 hour into the sesh. And I'll just keep an eye on this area for the next 5 minutes. Because like I said, my idea is that if this area fails, price is going to be back within last week's range, and you're going to have a much more clear rejection of the all-time high with this week's action potentially being more distribution there. And so again, I focus on longs. I don't really want to be attempting longs until 900 would be kind of the first area I'd be interested in, or down into support, or the alternative would be like an hourly time frame reversal, like a big hourly hammer or something like that. That's kind of the thought process. So far, there's an inside day breakdown. First move through the prior day low failed. Price failed to revisit the other side of that prior day's range, which would be the prior day high. Gets knocked down at prior day volume point of control. And like Mario was saying, that's 10 a.m. reversal time with an intraday upthrust. Good volume coming in now. Coming into that weekly open. Got 2 to 3x R vol here. Nice work, Gabe. I just saw your gold executions in the think tank. Super clean. Well done. Well done. NQ. Let's see how this 5-minute closes right here. 5 15-minute, 3 minutes before this 5-minute bar closes. Currently shaped like a hammer. Well, bounce versus 25 100. Those 00 numbers usually get some reaction, but other than that, I have no level here. Yeah, Mario, same page. 100%. It's back in the last week's range. And Q back into the lows. New low of day right there. Yeah, not a ton for me to do here, so I'll probably call it early. Game plan kept me safe today. Love that. I'll just take the one trade on the personal. Very minimal gains, but better than a red day. We'll take it and call it. What I'm going to be looking for later this morning, maybe early afternoon. I want to see if price can get down into this 900 area. 900 is last week's volume point of control, and or higher time frame reversal like 30-minute or hourly. That also gets priced back above this 150, 160 area. Can't hear? No audio? Check, check. Benny, good. All right. So that's the game plan. That is the game plan. Dave, good. All right, thanks, guys. Find me at 900 and or a reclaim of this blue zone right through here. Game plan for today was to look for that inside day break. We are breaking down. So inside day break is showing follow through to the downside as expected. Now price is back within last week's range. We'll keep it going in the Traders Think Tank. As always, thank you guys for your time. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you had a good morning. Pretty slow on my end. Like I said, just the one scalp. Looking for that bounce versus prior day low, overnight low. Trailed out, and then NQ proceeds to puke. So very happy with that trade management personally. Hope you guys had a good one, and we will see you tomorrow morning. Take care.